In this presentation, I argue the validity of the problem of evil as a means to disprove the existence of God. My argument is laid out as such. Premise 1, God is omnipotent, omnibenevolent, and omniscient, meaning that he is all-powerful, which is omnipotent, omnibenevolent, that he is all-loving, and omniscient, that he is all-knowing. Therefore, we can jump to conclusion 1 that because God is omnipotent, omnibenevolent, and omniscient, he must desire to eliminate all evil within the world. He must have the power to eliminate all evil in the world, and he must know about all evil in the world. Premise 2, we can then say that evil exists in the world. This is fairly obvious, which then leads us to conclusion 2, that because evil still exists in the world, then God must not exist. And from there, conclusion 3 can be stated as the problem of evil is a sound argument as a means to disprove the existence of God. Premise 1 comes from the biblical definition and widely accepted definition in most monotheistic religions of the traits of God. Premise 1, of course, being that God is omnipotent, omnibenevolent, and omniscient. And then premise 2, that evil exists in the world, is just common knowledge. That's the simple explanation for it. It is obvious that there is inherent evil in the world. So the problem of evil is a line of reasoning that many people use to claim that the existence of God is false. The quick explanation of the problem of evil is as follows. God is omnipotent, omnibenevolent, and omniscient. Since God is omnipotent, this means that he has the ability to control all the events in the world because he is all-powerful. Subsection of this is that he has the power to eliminate any and all evil if he so desired. Omnibenevolent, meaning that he is all-loving. It stands to reason that since he is all-loving, that he would want to get rid of any evil in a world that he has created. Finally, omniscient, meaning that he is all-knowing. Therefore, he would never be unaware of any evil that occurs within the world. So God, with having these three traits, one would think that there would be no evil in the world at all. However, evil definitely exists, therefore God must not exist. In order to understand the problem of evil and make the argument sound of any counter-arguments, we must first define what evil is. And we can classify evil into two different types, first being man-made or moral evil, evil that is directly created through man's own actions, and the second being natural evil, evil which occurs completely separate from man's actions, things that man has no bearing over whether or not it will occur. An example of moral evil would be murder. A man chooses from his own free will to shoot another man, causing him to die, resulting in a moral evil. An example of a natural evil is a hurricane which kills hundreds of people. This is something that no man could stop from happening, nor could make it to happen. One way that many Christians justify moral evil is the free will defense, which is basically stating that we have free will because God gave it to us, and to stop us from performing an action would diminish this free will and make it no longer valid free will. One cannot be considered to have free will if not all the possible choices are there for him to make, i.e., if God took away all the possible evil decisions a man could make, this can no longer be considered true free will. This is an excellent defense, but it does not explain possibly the most perplexing type of evil in this world, which is natural evil. One man by the name of Richard Swinburne attempts to explain this existence of natural evil by saying that God creates natural evil to present man with a unique opportunity to do a great good. This also relates back to the free will defense in that if these natural evils did not exist, man would never be presented with the choice of doing a difficult but great good, like, say, resuscitating a man who has had a heart attack, or doing an easy but evil wrong by watching and hoping someone else does something. Swinburne goes on to essentially say that because these natural evils present man with the opportunity to do a great good, then God must exist. these natural evils are not bad for the sake of being bad. They exist because so that man can prove themselves to be good or evil. This line of reasoning, however, I find that it cannot be considered sound, because if God is truly all-loving, then he would never let 100 or even thousands of people die so that a handful of people could be presented with the opportunity to do a great good. He would instead eliminate all natural evil and let men live freely, making choices between good and evil on their own without any intervention or natural evil. There's really no reason for the natural evil to exist in the first place if all it is there for is to create only simply an opportunity. So this argument fails to prove God's existence despite the presence of natural evil. In conclusion, the problem of evil is a sound argument as a means to disprove the existence of God, because natural evil would never exist in this world if God is truly omnipotent, omniscient, and omnibenevolent. God must either exist as a being with different traits, which would no longer classify it as a God, it could not possibly happen, or it must not exist at all, since there is no natural evil in the world. So, God must not exist from the problem of evil.